Okay, I want to talk about keeping chickens in cold weather. No heat light is needed, typically, unless it's really, really cold or you have young chicks. Um, it is dangerous as far as fire hazard. I had a neighbor who burnt their shed down, and then we had a small issue with one where the cord burned in half and burned up some little baby quail. But we do use heat lights, but we use them with caution, but not on our mature animals. And not only because of danger, but also because it doesn't allow adaptability to temperatures. Say if your power went out and your animal is adapted to the heat light and all this fancy stuff, then they're not going to be able to cope if there's no power. It'll wimp them up, guys. Okay, as far as bedding goes, if you desire to use bedding with chickens, then you can. We don't typically, but if you're going to, then um, make sure it stays dry and clean. If it's not going to stay dry and clean and you're not going to clean it, don't use it. Because bedding has lost its insulating factor once it's wet or dirty. Wood chips are pretty good bedding. They're absorbent, but they're not as insulating as like straw and hay. Um, the straw and hay having a hollow fiber that allows for air insulation. Um, Straw is not as absorbent as hay, so we just use grass hay. And it's hard to clean. So keep lots of water available to your chickens because they could dehydrate in the cold. Frostbite on your combs is possible on your chickens. So if it was really, really, really cold, maybe you could shut them up and leave them closed up. Um, it didn't get that cold here. We were just, below 20, a little bit below 20. Feed extra, feed. Calorie intake goes up in cold weather because they're using some of their energy to stay warm. Feed warm food if possible. We gave them some rice and some warm lentils, fun stuff like that, in addition to their layer. Yeah, and for those hens that are laying during the cold snaps, make sure you gather eggs often because they can freeze and break, and that will lead to your chickens learning to egg eat, which of course is never good. Try not to transition animals in the cold, like if you had chicks under a light. Simon, this is not a cat parade here. This is about chickens. If you had chicks under a light, um, don't take their light away from them right now and try to transition them out. Try to wait till the weather's a little bit better for that. Now you're going to start a cat fight. Nasty thing. Anyway, keep after their water and make sure, like young chicks, because they tend to kick their food out and dirty up their water. Make sure that it stays clean and nice for them. And these ones have a mama, thankfully, because if you're looking at like power outages with chicks and stuff, then you end up having to bring them in the house so they don't freeze. These guys are a week and a half from being able to be on their own, but they're almost fully feathered. But see, mom's still sitting on them. Yeah, you still need mom. But, yeah, so just keep an extra eye out for them during the cold weather to make sure everybody's going to be okay. We're almost through the winter, guys. Well, not so much. But we're getting there. We're better than we were before. This has been Keeping Chickens in Cold Weather.